So I've decided to offer our art approval template to you guys. I just want to let you guys know that this will help fund our channel, and I know this will be super helpful. So that way you can look more professional. Not only that, you won't end up printing a job and all your profit going out the window because you didn't get that art approval. So I'm going to show you how this art approval template works. Let's go ahead and dive right in. When you purchase our art approval proof template, when you download it from our website, essentially you'll get a AIT file, and .ait, what that is a template file in Adobe Illustrator. When you open it up, every single time it will create a new document, and I'll show that here in a moment, but also you'll get it in CS4, CS5, and CS6. It should work with just about everything you guys have out there. If you need it in an older format, just let us know and we can send it to you. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the AIT file, and as you'll see, it opens up a new document, Untitled 3. So there really isn't any way that you're going to save over this template file and completely ruin it. So that's something you don't have to worry about. And if you're using CS6, CS5, or CS4, be sure to save it as a Illustrator template file, and just go to Save As and just click your format options here and save it as a Illustrator template file. Okay, so we have our template open here. The first thing that I do want to show you is we have our branding in there. However, you can put your own branding. There is a layer right here that says branding here. So that is for you to put your own branding, put your logo, you can create some sort of background, but feel free to put your branding in there and make it your own template. The next big thing are the t-shirts, right? So if I select the front or the back of this t-shirt, I can go over to my swatch palette and change this to whatever color I want to, and it still retains the look of a natural t-shirt. It's not an Illustrator drawn t-shirt. It has a photographic look to it. And you can go over to your colors and make it whatever specific color you want to. Not only that, if you look here, we have color t-shirts on one layer here. We also have a standard black t-shirt as well. So black's a pretty popular color. So we have that ready to go as well. Not only that, we do have a heathered layer. So that way if someone is ordering a heathered shirt, let's say someone is ordering a sports gray t-shirt, and there you go. Now we have a sports gray shirt. The other thing I do want to talk about is the actual template file. That is going to have the overall look and theme of this particular template. I do recommend you go down here to the bottom and put your own name here. Now these are some terms and conditions which we like to include in our proofs. That way it covers our butt, and if someone does happen to approve this proof and we print the shirts the way they are, you know, if we print a couple hundred shirts and they say, hey, that's not the correct art, but we send this over to them and they approve it, then that's not on us, that's on them, right? One of the first things you will notice that up at the top left hand, we have a Pio and Invoice Number, and all these fields are editable. So that way you can go in and just fill these things in. So let's say, for instance, this job here is 5015, right? Let's just say our customer is Shannon the shop gnome, or a client, as she would say, Shannon the shop gnome. You could put your customer's name. You can change this to business name, however you want to cater to that. Again, that's on this template layer. If you wanted to change this to business name, you can do that. And I'll go back and lock this. The next thing we have on here is the order date. Generally for us, we do about a 10 business day turnaround. What we're going to do is just go in here and we're going to fill in, and this is on our fields layer. So every single one of these fields is on the fields layer, and you can go in here. Today's date is the 25th, and let's say 2 weeks from now they need their order will be the 8th, and let's say this particular client ordered 36 shirts. So we'll put that in there, so that way we're all on the same page about how many shirts they ordered. So the next thing we have here is whether it's a reorder or not. You have no and you have yes. If it is a reorder, go up to the fields here and just scroll down and you'll see that we have all this labeled. So you can see we have this little X. If I turn off no, it goes away. If it is a reorder, just click on that where it says yes, this little eye icon here, which will turn it on so that way it is visible. As we go through this, you'll see that each of these fields that you can turn on, they're in order by these layers here. So the first options here, so that way you don't have to go in and manually draw these things in. So let's just say it's a reorder. So we got yes checked here. Additional services. So you might have someone that wants a screen printed neck label. Let's just go ahead and say, for the sake of this demonstration, right here, screen. And if you want to, you can add some more to this. If you wanted to put screen printed neck label, you can do that. For me, I know that in the sequential or the from top to bottom, that this is my option here. So let's say it has that option. Let's say it has the option to fold and poly bag and add a size sticker to it as well. So the next thing is fold. Let's say that there's a color change. Let's go ahead and select that. Now there is a box here. We can go ahead and just hit T on the keyboard. And let's say we want to change it from red to black. So we have that information in there as well. Let's say perhaps it's a specialty ink. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to click on specialty. Let's say perhaps maybe it's a puff ink. So we're just going to hit return and we're going to type in puff. So we have all that covered. Now moving on, this can be used for screen printing, embroidery. This just happens to be what we do the most of. We're going to collapse this, but you can go over to your template layer. Let's say, for instance, you do quite a bit of HTV work. You don't really offer embroidery, but you do screen printing and HTV. You can go ahead and have this option. You can change that up so that way it will cater to your own business. And let's say you do sublimation. You can cater this to your particular business. That's one of the great things about this. So in this case, we're doing screen printing, right? So we're going to leave that alone. Going back to the fields, like I said, you can change this to whatever you want it to be. For us, our main thing is screen printing and embroidery. Occasionally we do HTV, but you can click that option on right there. Okay, now moving on, we have our ink and thread colors. Again, you can just kind of cater this to however you want to, but we have this all set up so that way you can easily change it and just go back to your template layer. But for us, let's say that our client, Shannon the Shop Gnome, wants this logo printed on the front. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it onto my fields layer. So I'm just going to paste that in there. And she just wants some t-shirts with this particular logo, which is our logo. And perhaps she wants something else on the back. So that way she can represent herself. I'm Shannon the Shop Gnome. This is going on the back of the shirt. This is the art that I want. And looking at this art, I already know that I have a white base going down at least. Everybody's printing style is going to be a little different. So let's just say we're going to put a white base down with CMYK printing, right? Okay, so over here at ink colors, I know that I have 5 ink colors. And for the sake of this demonstration, let's just say it's 6 colors. I'm going to do a white base with a white highlight. So we're going to turn on all of these colors here. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's just call white, we'll just call that our base. And we know the next thing in the print order. And you'll notice that it's number 1, 2, all the way through 6. And this is not only for the client, but for ourselves as well, the print order in which we're going to do this. So if we're doing CMYK, the next color I would do is yellow. We would do magenta. We would do cyan. We would do black. And then we would do white. So there we have our 6 colors. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my fields layer again. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there are the 6 colors 1 through 6. So I turn all those on. And you'll notice as I turn those on that we now have boxes here. So we can select this box here and we can go over and make that yellow. We can come here, we'll make this magenta, we'll make this cyan, we'll make this one black, and we'll just leave this one alone because it's white. Now that we have all of our colors all situated and listed out, the next thing we have that is really cool and will help save you guys some errors down the line is this particular pre-press checklist, okay? So what we tend to do in our own shops, we count the shirts, we'll organize them by size, make sure everything is there. One of the big things you want to do is check your art to the approved proof, because you never know when your client might send you a couple different pieces of art and you happen to burn the incorrect piece of art onto the screen. So you want to check the proof that your client approved. Next thing you want to do is check for typos. Next thing is you want to make sure your spot colors are correct, whether it's your house colors or your PMS colors. That's something you definitely want to check for. Placement matches the mock-up, whether it's a chest print, a side print is down towards the bottom, left chest, whatever the case may be, you definitely want to check that and make sure it matches the approved proof. Next thing, jobs registered correctly. Registration is very important. You don't want to have that white peeking out from underneath that red top print, or in this case our CMYK print. You just want to make sure everything's registered nice and tight. Your job's free of pinholes, and last but not least, you have your registration marks taped off and you're ready to go for production. One of the last things I want to mention here is we have our front and back sizes. So you can go in here and let's say we want to make this a standard print of 10 inches wide. What I'd like to do is just type in the size here. I'll let it scale up and we'll see what it is. So if you look here, 5.39, so let's just call it 5.4. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. We said 10 inches wide. The next thing is maybe we want this print here to be 10 inches tall, so we can just type in 10 inches, and so we got 5.5 for the width, so we'll put in 5.5, 10 inches tall. And now we're all set to send this off to our client for approval. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or give us a call. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Until next time, we'll see you later.